It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Monday, September 29th. We are coming up at the end of the month. I cannot believe it is almost October. I think October is tomorrow. No, the day after tomorrow. What is September is a 30-day month, correct? How is everyone doing today? Are we having an incredible Monday? I hope so. I hope so. It was a long weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. I enjoyed it. I spent it with my family. I spent it with my friends. I spent it with my dog. If you listen to my Patreon, I talk to you guys all about my issues with potty training. My puppy, it's an issue, but we're getting through it. We're doing it. We're making it happen. How is everyone doing today? Oh my God, we have a lot of stories on the docket. On the docket. Lots of stories on the docket. Micah says, wonderful Monday, sorta. What is this sorta? Mildred's already trying to get naked for us in the chat. Mildred, I'm going to give you a hint about getting a husband. And I think you're coming on too strong. Okay. We'll get into all of the stories. We're going to talk about J.K. Rowling versus Emma Watson. It is a story that I find fascinating, and I'm curious your guys' thoughts. It's going to get spicy. I have to be honest. I have a feeling it's going to get spicy. Selena Gomez got married, lots of special guests in attendance, and there was some drama there too, apparently. Scheana Shay is the most insufferable person on reality TV. I'm ready to, throw the gauntlet on her. And I think Stassi Schroeder compared her to Blake Lively. That was fun. Speaking of Blake Lively, she did post a picture of herself in a bucket hat. Bucket hats are officially the worst things in the entire world, okay? Bucket hats are out of control. We need to put a ban on bucket hats. And I don't like to put bans on a lot of things in the world, but bucket hats, if you don't know what bucket hats are, there should be a ban on bucket hats. And Blake Lively is officially the reason for it now. I'll share that with you in just a moment. I did watch Special Forces and Sister Wives, and both of them have one thing in common: Kody Brown and him being a sexist, sex-crazed jerk. So that will be so much fun. I can't wait to get you guys through today's show. So many stories. We're going to talk Ryder Cup. We're going to talk how America embarrassed the crap out of itself against Rory McIlroy. I mean, I didn't even know these things existed until yesterday. We'll talk all about it. Don't you worry. Everyone, get your arms ready. It's time for your favorite hour of the day. It's your daily dose of Donna. Oh my God. What did I say? How did I call his last name? You guys are all saying McElroy. Did I say his last name wrong? What's his last name? Now I have to look it up. Of course I'm going to get it wrong. Sports and me don't get along. Rory McIlroy. Did I say it wrong? What did I say? Did I say Macklemore? I hate Macklemore. Oh, roll the tapes. Can we do an instant replay? Damn, Macklemore is the worst. I don't like Macklemore. I refuse to talk about Macklemore. Yes, McElroy. Did I say that right? McElroy. I like Rory McIlroy now. Now, I don't know about these people in real life. I don't know if they're good people or not. And I know that there was the show, the golf show on Netflix that I started watching for a little bit. And then you know how these shows go. You get really into it and then you get over it. You move on. And I don't think I ever finished watching the whole season, the whole show. And that's why I don't really know about their personalities. But when I was watching clips of this Ryder Cup, who knew? Who knew that the Ryder Cup was like officially the one event? Golf. Golf was the sport of etiquette, I thought. Golf was the sport of etiquette. No, apparently not. Not the Ryder Cup. Now, I did learn a lot about the Ryder Cup yesterday because I was sitting at my Little League game. Not my Little League game, okay? It ain't my Little League game. In case you guys are wondering, I don't play in Little League. It was my son's. I know I look young, okay, guys? Thanks. No, my son plays on Little League. I was a little hungover. Saturday night, we went out. All right. A martini and wine. It's always going to get you. But I'm sitting there in the stands and I am watching. And all of a sudden, I realize, wow, what is going on here? I happen to see these clips and I see these articles about Heather McMahan. Now, Heather McMahan, excuse me, Heather McMahan is a comedian slash podcaster slash entertainer. Okay. She's never done anything like outstandingly offensive, in my opinion. I've never seen anything like that's bothered me so much about her. She's funny. She's just like a Dear Media YouTuber, podcaster. If you guys don't know who she is, this is what she's posted on Instagram last. She has not, as far as I know, as of 11:51 Pacific time in Los Angeles, she has not mentioned or responded to this fight or whatever, the fact that she got fired as an MC. But she was an MC at the event and she apparently screamed out loud and kind of added on to the cheers with either a microphone or what are those called? Loudspeaker, whatever. Those loudspeakers, I guess. And she added on to the cheers. F you, Rory. F you, Rory. Okay, so let me show you her Instagram if you guys can't picture who she is. This is who she is on Instagram. She's the blonde woman. This is her last Instagram post that she posted 4 days ago. People are posting in the comments and no one is really saying anything about it, but this is this is just who she is, just in case you guys don't know who Heather McMahan is.
Know how impossible it is to get fucking anywhere in New York City?
Thanks for the
when
F-bomb.
the UN is meeting, when they're summiting. I don't know if you know about the state of the world, but I don't think that summit's going to go great. I don't think people are going to be getting along, breaking bread, having a little light laugh at lunch.
So that's who Heather McMahan is. The reason why I share this is because multiple people were at the event, working the event. I saw a lot of Bravo stars. Apparently it became a Bravo thing because I saw Shep Rose was there. Hannah Berner was there. She's not Bravo anymore. She's from Giggly Squad. And then, of course, Heather McMahan was there. So I guess they're trying to make it more of like an Instagram influencer event. I have no idea. Now, here's a little clip that I saw in the New York Post. I was Googling it. I could not find a clip of her actually saying it on camera. I'm wondering, why is it impossible to find a video of her actually saying it? So the only thing I could find was it on Deadline? Okay. So on Deadline, someone posted, where did someone actually, it's weird. It's like there's no actual video of her saying it. The ads are out of control and the economy is really suffering because all of these websites and their ads are out of control. The ad blockers don't work. Nothing works. Nothing works. They're just pop, 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 pop. Okay. So here's the article that kind of talks about it. She was a Ryder Cup MC. And she was just she's a comedian. She was probably just trying to have fun with it. And it says Ryder Cup MC Heather McMahan steps down after leading the FU Rory chants. Now, I have to say it right. McIlroy. Did I say it right? McIlroy. Rory McIlroy is oh gosh, I'm going to get this wrong now. Hold on. Rory McIlroy is a Northern Irish professional golfer. He plays on the European Tour and the PGA Tour, and he's a former world number one in the official world golf ranking and has spent over 100 weeks in that position during his career. Did you also know he was 36 years old and was born May 4th, 1989? Just making sure you wanted to know. Anyway, he was playing for Europe. This was a team event, and it was Team America, Team USA versus Team Europe. And that's why it becomes so rowdy. It becomes more of like an event in that way. But she was an MC, a master of ceremonies at the first tee at Bethpage Black. And she had to step down from her role after being caught on video leading the FU Rory chants directed at Rory. The PGA of America. Thank you, Micah. See, I can do anything. I should be an MC. I like sports now. Okay. And Travis Kelce plays on the Kansas City Chiefs. And my boy, Matt Shaw, because he's so hot, plays for the Chicago Cubs. Thank you very much. Hire me. Anyway, the PGA of America says it announced in a statement Sunday morning that McMahan would not return to her role for the final day of the Ryder Cup. Heather McMahan has extended an apology, it says, to Rory McIlroy. I'm saying it right? And the Ryder Cup Europe, and has stepped down from hosting the first tee of the Ryder Cup, the statement says. And then they removed the video here, but someone had said this is utterly disgraceful. Whoever this MC is, she should not be allowed near any PGA event again, let alone the Ryder Cup. The PGA's silence on this matter is sickening. So let's pull up the tweet because they removed it from embedded. So this was the actual tweet. It's very hard to see and even hear, but this guy, I guess, was filming. The event is very, very far in the distance, but you can hear it. So I'm just going to make sure the volume's turned all the way up, and I'm going to make it big here. And just listen. You can hear the woman, that's Heather, leading the cheers. Listen in. So did you hear that? She yells, F you, Rory, F you, Rory. It's totally unprofessional. When you're hired, I think I don't know if she was drinking. I have no idea. I would imagine she wasn't drinking on the job, but I don't know. I think that she probably got lost in the sauce, got a little overly excited, got maybe she didn't understand the etiquette or whatever. Real bad. Now, a lot of people are asking in the comments, why is Rory, getting treated this way? What did he do so bad? He didn't do anything. That's the craziest part about this. This is the most insane thing. This is just the fans. And mostly, and I hate to say this, it's the American fans that are acting outrageous. And I don't understand why this is okay. I don't understand how it became okay that they became these wild fans that acted this way. So golf.com or golf_com on what's it called on Instagram. I became a golf fan this weekend, you guys. I've been watching a ton of it, and they're talking about this demeanor that happened at this event. And I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of drinking, and it's kind of like the more people act that way, the more people act that way. You kind of like keep up with the people around you, and you start to build each other up, and it becomes rowdier and rowdier and rowdier. And I guess this has been going on for years, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Susan says it's like the Happy Gilmore effect. I did get a lot of comments about that when I was talking about it on TikTok and on Instagram yesterday. It's like this. A lot of people are saying, did Adam Sandler and the Happy Gilmore movie kind of create this event about golf that you can kind of just like talk crap to all the people? I have no idea. Let's watch a little bit of what the golf Instagram was talking about. This is Rory's teammates were talking about how they were handling it.
You pick and choose when to interact. Yesterday on 16 in the afternoon, I heard some guy who was like, Roy, you're not that good. And you said, I'm really effing good. And so
I am.
I know you are.
Really good.
I know.
That's Rory kind of going back and forth. There was another clip of him talking about his wife, but this is when there is a drink. Up here, you'll see right here, the top left, there is a beer. I'm pointing in my finger. I'm pointing to it like you guys can see my finger. There was a beer that was thrown at his wife's head. So his wife was getting bullied the entire day. It was really strange. I mean, honestly, strange to see. And not strange, awful to see. No one wants to see this kind of behavior. I don't understand why in the world this kind of behavior was tolerated, but I just don't know how you handle it from this kind of perspective. It's not 5 guys, it's not 3 guys, it's the entire crowd. So listen to what they say about the way it was handled and, you know, the behavior.
Did fans at the Ryder Cup take things too far? Of course they did. But flirting with that line is also what makes the Ryder Cup such a fantastic sporting event. Let's start with the bad, because European captain Luke Donald laid out the 2 lines that you really shouldn't cross as a fan.
What I consider crossing line is personal insults and making sounds, you know, when they're trying to hit.
And American fans raced across both those lines again and again and again. I mean, before 7 a.m., guys were screaming F-bombs at Rory McIlroy as he was hitting on the first tee.
That's before 7 a.m.
His match and came back out to cheer on his teammates. We were behind 17, and his wife Erica got hit with a beer from the crowd. So clearly there were instances of crossing that line. What was so impressive to watch was the way the Europeans responded. Luke Donald put it pretty well.
You know, things got tougher out there, and they got, you know, it fired them up even more. They were able to get better.
It seemed like the crazier the fans got, the crazier the European play got in response. And the guys right at the center of it, including Shane Lowry, basically said, look, yeah, it was nuts, but this is what I play for.
Yeah, it was intense. It was like, you know, something I've never experienced. But, you know, this is what I live for. This is it. This is like, honestly, this is the reason I get up in the morning for stuff like this.
So, yeah, American fans kept crossing that line, but I don't think it did them any favors.
People can be their own judge of whether they took it too far or not. You know, I'm just proud of us for being able to win today with, you know, what we had to go through.
How embarrassing, right? Like, how embarrassing for us. Sorry, Europe. Like, I wasn't there, so I was just living my best life as a little league mom, not saying anything and just making snacks, you know? But like, how embarrassing that was how they acted, and they didn't even have anything to back it up because we lost. We lost. So do not throw beers at people. What is happening? But Heather McMahan, wow, she ain't having a good day. Like, that is so bad. And apparently she apologized in private, but I'm curious if she's going to make a public statement. She's gone completely silent. She hasn't said a freaking word about it. So I'd be very interested to see what happened. Now, Hannah Berner was there, and so was Craig Conover, And I'm curious if you guys know, that Craig Conover used to date Paige DeSorbo. Paige DeSorbo is co-stars or co-host with Hannah Berner on Giggly Squad. And I'm wondering if there was some sort of a run-in, maybe a high five, and if they had any words about that. Would love to know that. Now, funny enough, Paige DeSorbo did speak about the fact that she was asked to be on Special Forces. And we're going to talk about Special Forces a little later in the episode. And she said, oh my God, do you even know who I am? Like, can you imagine me ever doing Special Forces? And that's really hysterical that she actually said that, because that would be the worst show ever for Paige DeSorbo to ever do. And that at the same time is insane because Brittany Cartwright said yes to it, which we're going to get into, because Brittany Cartwright, Brittany Cartwright, Kentucky beer cheese mama, beer cheese date night, beer cheese boobs, Brittany Cartwright. She was on Special Forces. And let me just break the news to you guys. It didn't go well. Okay, it didn't go well. Just to wrap that up, Micah's my sports producer on this show. Micah's in his element right now with this segment. He says being obnoxious, chanting, and talking shit is one thing, which is always fun. What she did and then throwing beers and personal insults is absolutely over the line. Micah, you officially are so happy that I'm talking sports on this episode of Daily Dose of Donna, right? Thank you so much. What is this? I love talking shit to other teams like UCSB. That's my alma mater. Alma mater? When they got their butts whooped by Marshall and their coach got a red card, but don't take it over the line and make it personal and throw shit. Listen, to be honest, I don't take anything personal about UCSB. I didn't even know that they had a sports team. I went to UCSB to party. All right, let's get into some other stories. We could stick on that little sports front before we get into some of the bigger stories. Taylor Swift, and the reason I bring up the sports is because Travis Kelce played yesterday. Apparently, Travis Kelce is sucking this season. You guys, I am a sports show. Did you know that? This is Daily Sport. Last week was Daily Dose of Trauma. This week is Daily Dose of, I wish it could rhyme with Trauma Donna. What could it be? Daily Dose of Llama. That doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Daily Dose of Sports. So in sports news, Travis Kelce yesterday had another bad game, apparently. They won, but apparently he played pretty shitty. And he got into it again with Andy Reid on the side. Okay, Andy Reid is the coach. And everyone is saying, like, Travis Kelce's got a lot going on in his mind. Now, Taylor Swift had just come from Selena Gomez's wedding the night before. And she flew in and she was at the game. But again, she's in hiding. And I don't get this hiding thing from Taylor Swift right now because she's got to be very public. She's about to release an album in 3 days, October 3rd. So I don't know what's going on. Not exactly sure what's happening, but she is silent. She has gone completely silent, or like in private. She doesn't want to be seen. And the more private she's being, the more beef jerky Travis Kelce's being on the sidelines. And I'm very confused by it. Now, Taylor Swift also released an album preview today for her Life of the Showgirl. It's finally coming out. I mean, thank God we don't need to buy any more editions. Thank God we don't need to, still be purchasing any like gold edition, green edition, purple edition. Taylor Swift can do everything. She can do everything. She can fly there. She can be at a friend's wedding. She can do speeches. She can do commercials. She can do this. She just can't get deposed. She can do anything in the world, but she cannot get deposed. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's funny when you're Taylor Swift, you can find anything, but you just can't do the one thing. The one thing we need you to do, Taylor. So get your ass in that chair when you're being asked to. You know what I mean? Now, let's watch. I'm sure you've seen it, but let's watch this this little clip that she released. The only thing I like about it, I mean, I like it, but the real thing that I like about it is the fact that she's making fun of herself. And I love a self-deprecating queen. I do. I like a self-deprecating queen. And I like that she's able to make fun of herself. One thing about Taylor Swift that we all say all the time is her posture sucks. She's constantly like this. She's constantly bent over. Okay. It's constantly bad. So she makes fun of herself for that. So let's check it out. It already has 2.4 million likes since she posted it this morning. Here we go.
We are still rolling. We're going to try this again. Okay. We're elegant. We're luxurious. We're in front of the most beautiful pink vinyl we've ever seen. What is going on with the posture? It's giving no girl, not showgirl. What are we doing? Elegance. Charm. Not that.
She's got cat hair all over her.
Is there a school we could very quickly send her to? Come on, honey. This is show business.
The Life of a Showgirl. Exclusive edition, only at Target. And it has a pretty big poster with it, too.
Do you think people are so mad that she chose Target? You remember when people were wanting to cancel Target? Like, how do you think people are feeling about that? Like, is Target still on the cancel list? I wonder if people are pissed. Okay, speaking of the cancel list, let's get into the big story of the day. Okay. Oh, before we do have to talk about Blake Lively's hat because I'm going to cancel Blake Lively simply for this hat. And I did see someone say, I like a bucket hat. Really? Okay. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about the bucket hat. The bucket hat needs to be canceled. And maybe you'll cancel me for saying this, but I do not think that this makes anyone look good. Blake Lively was spotted, by spotted, I mean doing a selfie, taking a picture of herself in this horrendous getup. When I tell you, I don't know what's more offensive about this. Like the flowers, it's so bad. Bucket hats in general cannot make you look good. Lance, my husband, wears a bucket hat when he shoots like out in the elements. It's like a camo situation. I've never seen him look more unattractive. If he wears a camo hat, I can pretty much guarantee like I'm turned off. Okay. He might as well be Kody Brown. This is just my feelings. Okay. There's something about this picture that really gives me the ick. And I just can't. So bucket hats, like in case you were wondering, should I get a bucket hat this Christmas? The answer is no. Oh my God, Susan's right. It's a blossom. It's got Mayan Bialik blossom vibes. I always wanted to be 6. I never wanted to be blossom. I always wanted to be 6. Anyone else? Whoa, 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 whoa. Susie says her hair looks super dark. So does her energy. So does her aura. Billy says that hat is too small on her. Well, you know what they say about small hats. I don't know. Big egos, big heads. Just freaking annoying. Okay, so let's move on to J.K. Rowling. Now, this is a not crazy story, but this is an interesting story. And I'm very interested to hear what you guys think about it. Of course, your guys' live chats are always so good. Let's talk about this story. So and by the way, you guys are really funny. You guys are great in the live chat. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit like. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. Okay, so SHetty. I have my issues with SHetty, and I've had my issues with SHetty for a long ass time, by the way. I'm not the only one. If you guys are curious, do you know who SHetty is? SHetty is I wouldn't even know how you could like describe him, but he's like a motivational speaker, motivational like podcaster. Elena says Shady. I like that. Okay. That's like a good one. He is a author. He does it all. He's like one of those guys, right? They call him British Indian author, podcaster, entrepreneur, and life coach who focuses on mental health and life purpose. He's best known for hosting the world's top mental health podcast, On Purpose, which features interviews with celebrities, athletes, and thought leaders. Okay. These kinds of people are, and I'm just going to oversimplify this. These are the people that I used to be obsessed with 5 to 8 years ago. I was obsessed with these guys and girls. I would spend all my money on them. I would purchase all of the books from the Shettys to the Rachel Hollises to the name them. I would buy them. The Lewis Houses of the world. Are you guys with me on this? Like the Elizabeth Gilberts, the Eat, Pray, Loves. Oh, that is a deep dive. The Elizabeth Gilbert story is, we could do a whole podcast episode on Elizabeth Gilbert because she is legit that is the woman who wrote Eat, Pray, Love is insane. Like legit insane. But like I finally got rid of, I wonder if I still have any of them anymore. I finally got rid of all those self-help type books. I used to buy them like crazy. I used to be obsessed with them. Brene Brown, the freaking worst, Glennon Doyle. Oh, like all of these, like, I finally came to light. Jen Hatmaker, like all of them, right? They're all the worst. Eat, Pray, Crazy. Exactly. There you go. I feel like they're all total, they may have a good message, all of them, but they all get lost in the sauce and it all becomes one big grift. And I will do an entire series with you guys if you want. Like maybe I should do a Patreon deep dive series on all these self-helpers. I'm sure you guys, if you're interested, let me know in comments because that's how I did a whole Rachel Hollis deep dive on Patreon. It's still there if you guys are interested. I was obsessed with it. So I think that I am, I just see above, like see through, see through a lot of these people because they come off a lot like this holier than thou, better than everyone energy. And really in reality, there's a lot of shadiness behind the scenes. There's a lot of plagiarism. There's a lot of bad behavior. There's a lot of bad treatment with their own employees. There's a lot of horrible stuff that they do in their own businesses. The whole Rachel Hollis situation really opened my eyes to how I present myself in public versus who I am in real life. The drug addictions that they were hiding behind the scenes versus who I am in real life, who I am in front of the camera. It's like, it's wild. And yet they are teaching all these people all these things or saying all these things, and people just shell out so much money. They shell out so much money. They read all their books. They listen to all the podcasts. They just like hang on to every word that these people tell them. And yes, it can help you. And so for that, I think that's a good thing if it can motivate you. But I think a lot of people treat these self-help people as gods. And that's where it gets a little dangerous. Just like celebrities. Celebrities are also treated as like in a higher power, which is a little bit, why I don't like when celebrities like, well, Emma Watson was also asked about like world events on this podcast and it went viral. And all these celebrities that have these huge opinions on politics or on world events that they may not even know anything about, that they may have not really even researched. And yet they're highlighted in the media talking about, and all of a sudden we're supposed to take our political advice or our advice in life, based on what a celebrity, some random ass celebrity says. And that, of course, is what the media is picking up. And we're supposed to be like, oh, blank from that comedy movie, with Ben Stiller. Oh, yeah. Like, let's take that person's advice and decide who we want to, vote for. It's just like the celebrity culture and the like looking up to these people culture is just, I used to be obsessed with it. So I feel like I was there. I was that person. And now I feel like I've come out. I woke up from being obsessed with all these people. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? How embarrassing. Anyway. Then, okay. That was like a little bit of a tangent. Emma Watson was on Jay Shetty's podcast. And she was on talking about all kinds of things. Now, I am going to tell you, I have not been obsessed with Emma Watson by any means because I'm not a Harry Potter obsessed person. And I don't know at all like the ins and outs of Harry Potter. And you guys can tell me who here is a Harry Potter head. Like who loves Harry Potter here? If you do, please, by all means, let me know. My kids love it. They watched all the movies. They're into it. And we go to, Universal Studios and we'll do all the, we'll buy the wands and do all the things. But all I know is that in 2020, the author of Harry Potter, her name is J.K. Rowling, of course, she in the height of, remember 2020, in the height of COVID, BLM, cancel culture, tippity top of cancel culture, J.K. Rowling was in hot water online for, and I'll pull up an article that I found that kind of like, and this is from Glamour articles, so a Glamour magazine. So of course, if you understand Glamour magazine, they're going to come at it from a very one-sided way. But this was the first thing that I just kind of like found that basically says a complete breakdown of the J.K. Rowling transgender comments controversy. So J.K. Rowling is the mastermind behind Harry Potter, and she is incredibly talented as an author and a creator. And then she had come out and spoke up in 2020 on Twitter, at the time it was Twitter, and spoke about the comments about transgenders and about safe spaces for women. Now, I'm going to be honest, rereading things that she wrote now in 2025, I see things very differently than how I saw at the time when I was just seeing headlines. So it's very interesting to look at things at the time versus if you really look at her feelings. And I'm curious what you guys think, right? I'm very curious what you guys think about, you know, what her beliefs are. I just want to look up something really fast. I just wanted to get one thing right so that I don't have it wrong. I want to make sure. Okay, so if you go through this article, it has basically her first ever original comment. And it was in June 2020. And it said on June 6, 2020, Rowling retweeted, and I pull it up here. If you want to look at the article, you can. You can just Google it. It's in Glamour. It says on June 6, 2020, she retweeted an op-ed piece from another article that discussed people who menstruate, apparently taking issue with the fact that the story did not use the word women. And she made a comment saying, people who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wombin, wimpooned, womed. Like she was kind of making fun of the fact that they couldn't say woman. The initial tweet garnered a lot of backlash, it says, but the Harry Potter author did not relent and wrote about her views in more detail. She said, if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e., to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences is a nonsense. I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. Well, when I hear those words right now in 2025, I don't think that that's that bad. That does not sound transphobic in any way, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree, right? Maybe you guys disagree with me, but that doesn't sound transphobic at all. But people then, after she said that, hold on. She then wrote up, She then wrote a post on her website, and she wrote a post called Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. It was called Turf Wars. And she said, last week, she goes, "This isn't an easy piece to write for reasons that will shortly become clear, but I know it's time to explain myself on an issue surrounded by toxicity. I write this without any desire to add to that toxicity. For people who don't know, last December, I tweeted my support for Maya Forstater, a tax specialist who'd lost her job for what were deemed transphobic tweets. She took her case to an employment tribunal, asking the judge to rule on whether a philosophical belief that sex is determined by biology is protected in law. Judge Taylor ruled that it wasn't. Then Rowling explains that she became interested in trans issues while researching a character she's writing. She outlined 5 reasons for being worried about the new trans activism, and fans went wild on her. Okay. So fans started going all in on her and really just like, losing their minds. This is in June of 2020. Then Daniel Radcliffe, that's Harry Potter, starts going off on her. He says, "I realize that certain press outlets will probably want to paint this as infighting between JK and myself, but that is really not what this is about. While Joe is unquestionably responsible for the course my life has taken, and I feel compelled to say something at this moment. Transgender women are women. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associations who have far more expertise on this subject matter than either Joe or I. To all the people who now feel that their experience of the books has been tarnished or diminished, I am deeply sorry for the pain these comments have caused you. I really hope that you don't entirely lose what was valuable in these stories to you. And in my opinion, no one can touch that." And then Emma Watson, who played Hermione, I can't remember how, Hermione, also spoke out in support of the trans community. She said, "Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are." And then Rupert Grint also issued a statement in response saying trans women are women, trans men are men. Everyone was speaking out in response and standing against JK for comments that she basically did not say. Does that make sense? It's not like she said trans women aren't women. She just said, "I support my right to be a woman as well." And this is a little, did I say Hermione? Shoot, you guys, I'm going to get canceled by the Harry Potter people too. Then it says, I just want to see really quickly. So according to, I just want to, just a little bit, kind of put in a bow a little bit. Like basically the short story is her views on trans rights have been JK essentially has concerns over, and this is the breakdown. She has concerns over women's single sex spaces and safety. She has repeatedly argued that allowing transgender women into women facilities like bathroom shelters and prisons, places like that. She has skepticism towards transgender youth and medical transitions. So she has skepticism against the hormone use and surgeries for under 18. She has frustration with trans activism and cancellation. She feels targeted by trans activists through abuse, threats, and campaigns to credit her. And she has shown bitterness towards former Harry Potter co-stars because she states she would not, she basically has gone back and forth with them over this because they clearly went along with this group of people that were very, very angry with her when she spoke up. She has voiced sympathy. I'm reading this straight up from AI. She has voiced sympathy for those who regret transitioning, calling them traumatized detransitioners, and positions herself as a defender of women's rights alongside other gender critical voices, viewing her stance as a moral imperative against misogyny. Okay. So this is J.K. Rowling's stance. It is very controversial. as you can imagine, because it's a controversial topic. But here's where it gets tricky. She worked on the Harry Potter series and had a really huge part in making Harry Potter and all those stars very successful. She worked with Emma Watson since Emma was 10 years old. And Emma, and they did so many movies together. And the second that the world kind of turned on JK with these comments, Emma, Daniel, Rupert, all of these people, without having conversations with JK, without talking to them at all, just looks like, and we didn't know any of this, but just it looked like turned on her completely. I stand with trans women. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. We hope this doesn't ruin anything for you. I have no idea what's going on with that, but I stand with trans people. And then what happens to people like JK Rowling is that she looks like she's this crazy, wackadoodle person. She gets ostracized. All of the stars remain aligned and together, and she gets further canceled as this wackadoodle author. And I have to admit, without knowing or deep diving or looking into any of this, I was 100% thinking the same because I never really read into her tweets. I never looked into any of this. So in my mind, I was like, she's a transphobe. She hates trans people. She's the crazy one. And obviously the Harry Potter stars are the good ones because I wasn't looking into this. This was back in 2020, 2021, and I wasn't even paying attention. I was just looking at the headlines. So this is how things happen. Then in addition, Enrique says, and she was not even invited to the Harry Potter HBO special reunion. So if they were shitting on her then, okay, well, now let's get into now. Things obviously are starting to shift when it comes to this conversation. People are starting to open up to the fact that you can be, and I am very strong about this. I saw a TikTok over the weekend by a woman who was like, I feel incredibly confident saying that I am very pro transgender women, men, all of that. But when you're raised as a woman to be scared of men, truly, as a woman, you're raised to be scared of men in your space, to be scared of getting naked in front of men, to be scared of having men in your bathrooms, to be scared of, always check when men are around in dark places. And then all of a sudden you're told now it's like, no, men should just be allowed wherever you are because they say that they're a woman. That is scary. And it's understandable for young women to be like, wait, hold a second. And this woman said it really, really clearly. And she's like, I am a young woman. That scares me a little bit. So it's okay to say, if you are a woman, to say, I totally feel confident that if you're a transgender woman, you can be a transgender woman, but maybe I also can protect myself. And why can't I protect me and my body and where I am? And I think everyone's allowed to have their entire space safe too. I don't see why not. We're just told that it's okay, just to throw all our safety out the window because the other person says that I'm sorry. That's 100%. As a woman, I feel confident saying that in my own space. That's how I feel. Okay. Now, another thing I want to say really fast is that Emma, she goes on this podcast with SHetty, and this is what she says about J.K. Rowling. We don't know any of the background. We don't know anything what's happened in the past. And this is what she says. I found this from another person's YouTube show. So, because I couldn't find the exact, it's like a 3-hour long podcast. And trust me, I did not have the patience for that. So this is what I found from it.
Celebrities. I can love her. I can know she loved me. I can be grateful to her. I can know the things that she said are true. And that can be this whole other thing. And my job feels like to just hold all of it. But the bigger thing is just what she's done will never be taken away from me.
Okay. So she's basically saying, I can love her, I can hold her, I can be okay with her. We're not the same, but we can be the same, but we can we can not get along, but we can get along, but everything's okay. And all these people are like, that's good enough. But JK is like, no, that's not good enough. That's actually not good enough. And I have to be honest, I 100% agree with JK on this one. And I just looked into all the tweets just when I was looking up this story just yesterday, last night, this morning is when JK tweeted. I had no idea any of this stuff. I didn't really look into it until this morning. Because as someone who has been completely cut out and literally blocked, X'd out of life, and unfriended and released from, people's lives because of my personal opinion on certain things in this world, I feel for JK because you don't even want to listen. Some people don't even want to listen. They don't even want to hear it. They just want to run away. And the most important thing that you want to do in life is, if you are a really good friend, you stick by someone when they're being canceled. You listen to them. You hold them when they're being canceled. And Billy Bush always said this to me. Billy Bush, when he was being canceled, he's like, I'll never, ever forget those two people that called me on those days. Because you're in the lowest of low when everyone's against you. When the world turns against you, when everyone fires you, when no one wants to take your call, when you're like the social pariah. And then that is when everyone piles on you. That's the worst. And Emma piled on. She piled on. She took the hand that fed her and she piled on because she was scared of the mob mentality. She didn't have to say anything. So JK decided to speak. And I think that this is an incredible, incredible tweet. And she says this, and I don't even follow JK Rowling, but I probably should now. I'm seeing quite a bit of comment about this, so I want to make a couple of points. I am not owed eternal agreement from any actor who once played a character I created. The idea is as ludicrous as me checking with the boss I had when I was 21 for what opinions I should hold these days. Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology. Some beliefs are legally protected, and I wouldn't want to see any of them threatened with loss of work or violence or death because of them. However, Emma and Dan in particular have both made it clear over the last few years that they think our former professional association gives them a particular right, nay, obligation, to critique me and my views in public. Years after they finished acting in Potter, they continue to assume the role of de facto spokespeople for the world I created. When you've known people since they were 10 years old, it's hard to shake a certain protectiveness. Until quite recently, I hadn't managed to throw off the memory of children who needed to be gently coaxed through their dialogue in a big, scary film studio. For the past few years, I've repeatedly declined invitations from journalists to comment on Emma specifically, most notably on the witch trials of J.K. Rowling. Ironically, I told the producers that I didn't want her to be hounded as a result of anything I said. The television presenter in the attached clip highlights Emma's all witches speech. And in truth, that was a turning point for me. But it had a postscript that hurt far more than the speech itself. Emma asked someone to pass on a handwritten note from her to me, which contained the single sentence, "I'm so sorry for what you're going through." She has my phone number. This was back when the death, rape, and torture threats against me were at their peak, at a time when my personal security measures had to be tightened considerably, and I was constantly worried for my family's safety. Emma had just publicly poured more petrol on the flames, yet thought a one-line expression of concern from her would reassure me of her fundamental sympathy and kindness. Like other people who've never experienced adult life uncushioned by wealth and fame, Emma has so little experience of real life, she's ignorant of how ignorant she is. She'll never need a homeless shelter. She's never going to be placed on a mixed-sex public hospital ward. I'd be astounded if she's been in a high street changing room since childhood. Her public bathroom is single occupancy and comes with a security man standing guard outside the door. Has she had to strip off in a newly mixed-sex changing room at a council-run swimming pool? Is she ever likely to need a state-run rape crisis center that refuses to guarantee an all-female service? To find herself sharing a prison cell with a male rapist who's identified into the women's prison? I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. I therefore understand from my own life experience what the trashing of women's rights in which Emma has so enthusiastically participated means to women and girls without her privileges. The greatest irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspected she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was, I might never have been this honest. Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination and then assert their right to their former friend's love, as though the friend was in fact their mother. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. Wow. I got chills. Wow. It's like, no. You not only tried to cancel me, you opened doors for the cancellation. You let them in. You didn't stand guard and stop them with their pitchforks. You opened the door and said, come on in. What friends you are. What friends you are. No thanks, Emma. We don't need you. Piece of shit. What a piece of shit. With friends like those, right? I love that. Enrique, she ate that, and that was her being reasonable. She's not talking to the child actor. They are grown people. You put these people in their place. That's the way you do things. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's exactly what it is. It's like a simple, I'm so sorry for how I acted. I was a horrible friend to her. That would have been the right answer. I think it's really, I'd be curious to see what's next. But, you know, unfortunately, most people are going to be like, well, JK is still transphobic. That's probably what's going to happen, honestly. That's probably what's going to happen from that. And there's still people out there that are saying that. That's the wildest thing. Well, JK is so transphobic. And if you think that that's transphobic, then unfortunately. Speaking of some real bad friends, also, we should talk about some other things, right? Okay. I got like heated by that. It's just so I love that clapback. She's amazing. I want her to write all my tweets. Okay. So do you have any friends like Scheana Shay? And you don't even have to watch Vanderpump Rules or any of these shows to know these friends like Scheana Shay. Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules, now The Valley, has finally had it up to here with Scheana Shay. She is done with her. She is done with her because she feels like it has been enough. Scheana Shay is officially the worst. I am just literally, I'm done. I am done. Okay? I can't handle her. And I don't understand how anyone can handle her. Number one, she's more mad at people for not promoting her book than she has been mad at her own husband for having sex with another woman while she's been pregnant. Okay? She has her priorities so mixed up. She has drama with every single person on Bravo. And then meanwhile, her best friend, Lala Kent, and her are now fighting. And they were literally they were literally not even they were not even like they were so close that they live next door to each other. They're neighbors. So it's the strangest thing. And I truly don't even have any words, but this is a clip. This will be an interesting little short clip of Lala finally talking about what's going on with her and Scheana and why there's drama. And this doesn't even feel manufactured. This is real. And I think that Scheana has lost the plot. She's a mess. And anyone that associates with Scheana, you're going to also be in a fight with her in 2 seconds. She's going to be one of those friends that expects too much all the time, constantly from all of her friends. It's too much.
And I are in a very strange place. But there was a shift where I kind of went, I don't know about this. I love her. She's like family. I am very disappointed on how she has gone about certain things. She and I are obviously not in a great place. She said it put friendships into perspective based on who posted her book. She didn't talk about the times that I've sat in a car and cried with her about the situations that she wrote in her book. She didn't talk about the message that I sent to her about how fucking proud I am of her that she wrote this book, put her heart out there, and made it to the New York Times bestseller list. That is not easy. But because none of that was public, it's not good enough for her. And I want to shake her at times. Because in the past 2 years, I have had to do a lot of soul searching, and I have had to own my part in a lot of situations that I didn't want to own my part. I wanted to place blame. I wanted to say, but you did this. We have come a long way. With Scheana, I want to shake her because it's like, you have a husband who's absolutely wonderful. He may not have done wonderful things, but he has made massive changes for you. And that's a beautiful thing. You chose to stick with him. That is absolutely incredible and wonderful. You have a beautiful, healthy little girl. You've got both your parents. Your sister's cool as fuck. What are you so mad about all the time? You made your book hit the biggest fucking list that a book can possibly hit. You've got a fantastic podcast. Why do you continue to try to scrape at the bottom of the barrel to find the shit? I want her to take a moment to self-reflect and figure out what makes her tick and what keeps her happy, genuinely happy. This is all going to fade. There's going to be a day, y'all, where no television show exists. The podcasts are over. The brand deals are done. No one gives a fuck about Instagram. What do you want?
And it goes on and on and on. She's basically like, you will literally never be happy. Do we all have those friends? Oh my God. I had one friend like that where I was like, you literally will never be happy. You will always find something wrong. And it's always like, she always needed something material to fill the void. It's like she always felt, I need a new purse. I need new jeans. I need new hair. I need some plastic surgery. I need to get my husband to buy me this. we need to go on a vacation. We need a dog. We need to go on, we need to buy a new house. And then she would get all that stuff. And then she's still not happy. And then this, and then that, and then this. And then it would be complaining about friends. And I'm like, oh my God. Inner work, dude. Inner work. This is the worst kind of person. This is Scheana Shay. This woman is the worst. She is insufferable and she's caused drama with every single person she knows. Oh my God. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. So, okay, this will be interesting. Meanwhile, Scheana Shay is not on the Valley, apparently, and Lala Kent is. So this is what happens when you go out there and you create drama everywhere you go. You end up like losing everything for you. So bye. Good luck, Scheana. Can't. And like, think about who she's hanging out with, like the Kiki Moniques and all the drama. There's so much drama. It's so crazy. So, okay, let's talk about, I wanted to talk about, someone told me that the whole Kanye documentary is up on YouTube. Is that true? If it is, I'll watch it. Okay, so let's now talk about a little bit of TV time. I watched Special Forces and Sister Wives. Special Forces is amazing. You guys have to watch Special Forces. I watched it on Friday night with my boys. It's a great show. You can totally watch it with your kids. I mean, my kids are 13 almost and 12. I mean, and 10. So like they're old enough. You can't watch it with like a 6-year-old, obviously. It's an amazing show. It's like, it's good quality, it's great reality stars. So obviously, spoiler alert, I'll give you guys what happened. They get dropped off in the middle of God knows where they are. It's the hottie that's hooking up with Denise Richards. Rudy Reyes is one of the trainers, and there's a bunch of other scary guys that are like yelling at you and screaming at you, and they're cursing at you, and they're basically not nice at all. Okay, and they're not telling you at all, like they're not messing around with you. But I would try to do what Gia Judice did, which is like smile at them and try to charm them, but they're like not having it. Okay, and these guys are like, go. Push-ups, go. And Teresa's there and she's trying to fix her hair. And they're like, what do you think you're fucking doing? Come on, get on your knees and do push-ups. Anyway, they're doing push-ups in the water. And there's a bunch of different people. Some of the standouts, of course, we have Teresa and Gia. We have from Bravo, we have Brittany Cartwright. We have I'm trying to think if there's any like really big other Bravo people standouts. We have some like top model people, but the big ones that I'm really kind of keeping my eyes out on, of course, are Kody Brown. Okay. We have Johnny Manziel. We have Chicken Fry. We have Sean Johnson and Andrew, her husband. We've got some really good ones. But I will tell you, Kody Brown, here's the concern. It is a very physical competition, and there's a lot of running, and there's a lot of push-ups, and there's a lot of burpees, and there's a lot of like roughing it. Kody Brown's going to do good. And that's a big problem for us, okay? Because Kody Brown has been working his whole life for this moment. He's been working his whole life with his gloves for this moment. And I will tell you, it's going to be a tough watch if Kody Brown wins this freaking show. Because I think he gets it. He understands how to respect the men, because he says men don't need love. They need respect. I can love a woman, but I want to be respected. And he was doing good. He's like, I'm putting on my gloves. Now, Johnny Manziel, who was a football player, and he's like a partying football player. The most embarrassing thing ever is that when they take off their mask and the guy stands right up in his face and he's like, what's your name? And he goes, Johnny Manziel. And he goes, did you brush your teeth today? And I said, oh, that's it. I would have died. I would have dropped dead right there. I would have said, that's it. How embarrassing to be called out for bad breath on a show. Like, so embarrassing. He's having panic attacks. He's having pains. He's all dying. And Kody's like, breathe in, Johnny, breathe. Now, Jussie Smollett. I had to tell my boys. I was like, oh, it's Jesse. They said, what happened to Jesse? I was like, he's a liar. We don't like liars. Jussie Smollett is not a good one, okay? And they were like, about what? And I was like, oh, how much time do we have? He lied. Now, lastly, I will say, Brittany Cartwright. Oh, Brittany. She starts the show and she goes, well, I just got out of a really toxic relationship with this man who told me that there was no way that I was going to be able to get through this entire show here. He didn't think that I was ever going to be able to do it, and he thought I was going to quit. Cut to 2 hours later, not really, but really 2 hours later, where she was like, I can't do it. I think I'm going to pass out. I think I have to go home. I just can't. I feel like shit. I feel like I'm going to vomit. Oh, this girl freaking vomits all the time. We've watched The Valley. She vomits every time she eats, I thought. Get over it, Brittany. Rough it. You lived with Jax. You can freaking rough it. Vomit. I watched The Biggest Loser. Those guys, they vomited and then kept running on the treadmill. Vomit, you idiot. I've never been so disappointed in my life. I'm like, this is what you want Cruz to see? Oh, I just don't think I can do it. So I have to run? No, I just don't want to do it. Maybe it's because your husband made you get breast implants that are the size of the sandbags that you have to carry. What the hell? It was so ridiculous. Brittany, quit on day one. Quit. 2 hours after she started. I mean, it was ridiculous. Goodbye. Okay, so that was Special Forces. Great show. And they had to jump out of a helicopter. Like, I'm into Teresa, by the way. I love Teresa and Gia on the show. Sorry. Next show. Sister Wives. Oh, let's see if I still can do it. Let's see if it's still here. Do you think they still have it? This week on Sister Wives, Kody tells Robin over a fancy dinner, I want to fuck. He basically says to Robin over dinner, I want to have sex. When I tell you the way that my stomach dropped, the way that I wanted to Brittany Cartwright vomit when Kody told Robin, tell me more about your licking. Guys. I died. When he said, she goes, oh, can I try some? And he goes, yeah, let me take your knife because I licked mine. And she goes, I don't mind your licking. Oh, that's going to sound bad. And he goes, I don't mind when you talk about that. And she goes, what do you like my licking? I'm like, I want to literally die. I want to die. I want to zip my body and I want my insides to jump out of my outsides. I want to die. If I ever have to think about Robin and Kody having like dirty sex talk, I literally will self-implode. I will self-implode. Get my Sharpies. Yeah, we haven't done the Sharpies in a while. Do you think that Kody and Robin, do you think that when she's like, you want to talk about my licking? Now, the one good thing about last night was that Robin never cried. I think the only reason Robin cries is when the other wives are around. She's like, the closest she got to crying was when she was like, I guess I'm going to be a monogamist. I guess Kody has to only lick me. This is so vomitous. I literally cannot handle that Kody and Robin are talking about licking over dinner. No one should talk about licking. Licking is as gross as moist, right? The word lick. Then he says, I would take on a fourth wife, except like another woman. But the thing is, I would only really want her for her looks. I would die. Then he says, what else does he say? Oh yeah, so they're talking about, he's like, why would I mess with this perfect union I have with you, Robin? I just want you in the Purple Princess Palace. I just want you. And she's like, just me? Just us? I mean, the two of those, it's out of control. Vomit. And he's like taking his knife. He's like cutting his. Robin. Ew. I'm like, they're not even drinking. Like, this is sober talk. They should only even have this conversation if they're like 6 martinis in. This is a conversation that you have where the next morning you're like, I can't believe we said that on camera. We were so drunk. You know what I mean? Now, meanwhile, across town, across state lines, Christine and David are having their own sex talk, but it's about soup. Because David, and I loved Christine's book. I listened to it and I thought Christine's book was phenomenal. I actually did really like it. And I hate Kody even more now, if it's possible. But Christine's book was so good. And she and David, I'm happy for their relationship, but can I just be 100% honest? Like, David doesn't have a sexual bone in his body. There's no way. David is the most anti-sexual person in the entire world. And she's like, I'm making Tuscan bean soup. And he's like, I like soup in the winter. She's like, yeah, I know soup is so good. And he's like, I really like soup in the winter. I truly don't understand. Like, he's a really nice guy. I like soup. I just don't understand. Like, I'm so glad she has him. But like, I like soup. It's just... And then there was a scene of them running a little bit later. Christine and David went to North Carolina. I think it was North Carolina to visit Janelle and Maddie, and they're buying a farm like for flowers, and I don't even know exactly. They always buy farms. They always buy like big empty lots. Like if it's not Coyote Pass, it's another just open lot. And God knows if they're ever going to do anything with it, but they're going to buy something eventually. They're going to do something eventually somewhere. Who knows? And I don't know. I always lose interest when they're talking about land. Land is where they lose me. But they did do some race. There was some race at some point, and then all of a sudden David was running. I don't know. I was in the shower watching this at this point, right? And David was running. I was just thinking, like, he was like, I like soup. I like soup. I really like soup. Like, I just can only imagine that during sex, he's like, can we have soup after this? I really like soup. Like a soup, the food that turns them on. I know Kody likes to lick his steak, but I guess he likes soup. I like soup. Soup. I like soup in the wintertime. That's my note. I wrote notes for Sister Wives, but my note is I like soup in the wintertime. You know who else like really likes soup in the wintertime? I mean, honestly, I think that she does. I think Blake Lively loves soup in the wintertime. You guys, this was a fun episode. Oh yeah, Mary went speed dating. Mary's about to go speed dating. It's to be continued. It goes to be continued. Mary goes speed dating, but on her way to go speed dating with her best friend / possibly lesbian lover, Jen, they're in the car. And as they're driving to speed dating, they were like, let's practice. So Jen goes, hi, Mary. You spell your name wrong. It's Mary, but it's spelled wrong. My name is Bobby, but I spell it with 2 O's. Like booby. I'd rather take soup in the wintertime. Just saying. You guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. We appreciate you guys. I hope everyone licks this episode and really make sure to tell your friends, subscribe, like this episode. I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your Monday. This is going to be a different kind of week because Thursday is Yom Kippur, so I will have Thursday off this week, but I will be around for the rest of the week. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for being here. Love you. Bye.